people advertise on Google, they're on Google search and they say, hey, I want more leads. And they have search partners turned off, maybe because that's what they wanted. They aren't doing remarketing and they've never even talked about Bing. So there's more ways to get leads than just pure google.com search. Why don't you get into that?
Yeah. So there is some things that you might have heard us talk about in when we're talking about how to build your campaign from scratch, and there are some things that we may have told you to turn off, or things that you could try that aren't a part of the standard build, that you may initially done, and that would immediately be the case where you can get more of the same. So first thing, search partners. The Google Search Partners Network is an additional way to show this for the same kind of traffic on other search partners out there. So these are other websites that are not specifically google.com, but they are a search engine of many different types, and you can get clicks and leads and same kind of traffic from these other sources immediately just by clicking it. I would say a 10% bump, something like that, at least. But that can really depend.
Yeah, I would. In recent months, I've been seeing weird things with search partners. Not every campaign, but some campaigns, 90% of the traffic goes there.
Oh,
So
goodness.
it's just something you didn't have to be aware of it in the past, because you could just go, well, yeah, probably 5 to 10% of the traffic is going to come from it, if any. And now in some cases, a lot more than that does. So just monitor it. You can segment it out. But it is a way, if you're not advertising on there, it is a way to get more search traffic, and you can monitor in the conversion column how it performs. Chris, remarketing, I am a believer, whether it shows up in the conversion column or not, that remarketing brings in direct leads. Does that sound pie in the sky, even if I can't prove it, or would you be okay with that?
I defend my horribly crappy remarketing cost per acquisition all the time. I'm like running these $100, $50 cost per acquisition. The client's like, this is great. And then I have this one $800 cost per acquisition for remarketing. And they're like, don't you think we should, look into that? Don't you think we should be concerned? I'm like, no, don't.
And then they're like, why? Because the data says $800 leads versus $100 leads. Why not? Why shouldn't we touch it?
Yeah.
And what do you say?
I say the reason is this is the cheapest way to retouch the people that have been to your site compared to anything. Put up a billboard, you'll waste almost every single cent. No one's going to see that again that's been to your website. Start a radio ad or do a print ad or something like that. No, this is dollar for dollar the best way to reach back out to former customers, people that have not converted yet, people that you've already sold to, that you could resell to. Remind them it's branding. It's worth it. Absolutely.
Yeah, my best advice for remarketing is to look at it in a silo outside of search advertising, even though it's both inside the Google Ads account and even though they somewhat play off of each other. Look at it as its own thing. And if your account budget is $2,000 a month and $100 to $200 goes to remarketing, stop. Because it is such a powerful tool, even if you can't track everything all the time, or even if it doesn't show up there for whatever reason, it just seems to work. People are probably asking, well, why couldn't you track it? Because so many people with the remarketing ads, they see your ads, but they don't click on them. Yeah. And you just can't account for that mind share thing where people see you and then maybe they recommend a friend to you more than 30 days later, or recommend a friend to you in the sense that it's someone else's computer and you don't get that view through conversion. Just a lot of those things happen. And just ask yourself, do I want to be in the branding display, kind of stay in front of people game? Both of us think those can bring in leads. And is that worth $200 a month instead of, could I spend this $200 on the search campaign if I bid more, that kind of thing. So look at it as its own thing. And then Chris, finally, I get people asking me, how do we spend more? How do we get more leads? There is another platform out there called Bing. Depending on the industry, you can get a surprising amount of volume. And it's the same thing you do in Google Ads, the same kind of targeting and strategies. And it's right there for the taking. Does it work in every industry? Great. No. Is there more than 10% traffic that you can get compared to Google Ads in every industry? No, but sometimes you can get a surprising amount of volume. from Bing. And there's theories as to why is that. Maybe the demographic for your industry is more likely to be on PC. Maybe they're more likely to be older or on desktop versus mobile. Who knows? But sometimes I have seen way more than 10% of the traffic be able to come from Bing.
Yeah. And they know that. They know that Bing is typically a secondary, and there is a very easy setup auto import system that will automatically import the changes directly into Bing from Google Ads. So really easy to do.
Yeah.